and bottom for our north and south poles. And then what we would do is we take the edge of those rectangles, and I've kind of zoomed in so we're looking at just 2 points, and we're going to have to kind of manipulate these points to create more of a convincing edge. So the first thing we're going to do is kind of just give those points a random variance in their x position. Before, if you were going to imagine like 8 points across, they're all kind of equidistant around. We're just going to give them a little bit of a plus or minus 10% variance in their position. And then we're going to do same thing for the y position, and we're going to fill the shape. So we give them a random variance in their y position, and then we can fill the shape, and already you kind of see we have this big defined shape of what our continent's going to look like. Now this shape is very big and it's very flat, so we want to add a little bit more interesting detail. So we're going to look at the midpoint of these 2 points, and we're going to place another point into it, and we're going to do another random variance along that in the x position, and then we're going to generate a normal vector to that edge that it lies along, and we're going to move the midpoint of that normal vector for more and more granular detail. So we can subdivide, 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 and keep going through, and we're going to get still maintaining the big definition of the shape, but have little bits of variance in between to kind of give it a little bit more interesting edges. So here we have that polar layers again with 8 nodes across, and we're just doing the basic big shape, which we saw before. And then we can subdivide it at 16 for additional shape definition. We can do it again for 32, again for 64, again for 128, and then finally for 256. And so we're still maintaining the rough large shape that we first generated, but we've got all these little interesting jaggies that kind of have created and little peninsulas and that type of thing. Now at 256 on again, because it's 800 by 400, you're not really going to notice the difference between 128 and 256, but on the 2048 by 1024 texture, 256 makes a big difference. And then we're going to just kind of blend it into our ocean layer. So we've kind of texturized it with a very basic Perlin noise, kind of give it a little bit of texture onto it. We duplicate it, place it underneath, blur it, and then blend it to kind of make sure that the ocean kind of seeps into it a little bit better. So now there's the continents. So in order to create the continents, we're going to tile Perlin noise. So we've basically taken 4 instances of Perlin noise that are the same and just tiled them together because Perlin noise